Hey guys, it's Chad Michael Ward. Welcome to the very first installment of Scary Stories with me, Chad Michael Ward. This is my very first attempt at doing an online video journal about the art of filmmaking, particularly with telling scary stories. And there's probably going to be a lot of stops and errors and stutters and everything else because I've never done this before. So stick with me. So it all started back in 2002. I just moved to LA, and I didn't move to LA to get into film like most people. I just moved to LA because I had some job opportunities as an artist. And I got hired to go shoot stills on Static X's Cold music video for the Queen of the Damned soundtrack. And it was the first time I'd ever been on set. And not only that, but it was a big budget production. We were shooting on the Universal backlot. Canby Effects was there doing vampire makeup. We had stunt guys in vampire makeup jumping off of rooftops. I was walking through sets from Leave It to Beaver, and it was like my own personal Disneyland. And it was crazy. It was insane. I'd never experienced anything like that. And I knew that day that I wanted to make music videos. I wanted to do film. I wanted to create something visual like that that took my ideas from short stories and photography and art and put it into a motion format. And so from there, I talked to the director, said, hey, how do I get into doing your job? And he said, you don't want my job. And I said, no, actually I do. And it took a while. It took about 4 years. And in 2006, I got approached by a production company overseas who couldn't be here to spend a little bit of money. It was a tiny budget, almost nothing, to do some additional pieces to a live music video that had already been shot for a band called Dragon Lord. And I, of course, said, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to do this. But I didn't know anything about filmmaking. I didn't know how to direct. I didn't know how to use a film camera. I didn't know what it took to make anything for a music video. So I called a client friend of mine who was looking to do some producing. He was a director, and he approached me, or I approached him, and said, "Hey, I got asked to do a music video, but I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know anything about making music videos. Can you help?" And he said, "Yeah, of course. I've done this quite a few times. Let me help you out." And he did. He took on the producer role. He got me DP and a small crew together, some of his people, some of my people, friends. And we got together in his garage over the course of one weekend day and shot a music video. To this day, I can't believe we pulled it off, but we did. And that sort of started me down this journey of wanting to do film. From there, I wanted to get into doing narrative film. I wanted to do a short film and eventually do a feature film. But again, I didn't really know where to start, both in terms of writing, in terms of directing, etc. But it wasn't until my producer friend got some money and to do a 3-part trilogy of short films. And he tapped me and said, hey, do you want to do your first short film? Of course, I said, yeah, absolutely. What do I got to do? Where do I sign up? And so we spent 7 days over the course of 2 months shooting a short film called Fable. And it was a bit of a disaster. I didn't know what I was doing. And unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people on the set knew what we were doing. And that's probably my fault. The project died in post, never did come out. And it's probably for the best. It was a good place to learn a little bit, but it definitely, I don't think, was something that was ready to come out. I don't think I was ready as a narrative director to come out and do that. So after that sort of false start, I went back to music videos. And after a few more years of that, once again, my same producer friend tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, do you want to make a movie? Do you want to direct a movie? A feature-length movie? And I was like, well, yeah, of course. So we started talking about some ideas. He had a very specific idea about a vampire movie that was somewhat based on, or was an homage to, The Fly. And we went back and forth about what it was. Originally, it was going to be a found footage film. And then we talked about doing some other tricks and things to it. Most of it was just talk. And we sort of toiled on that back and forth for about 2 years. And finally, at AFM one year, American Film Market, which they hold in Santa Monica every year, I was invited to come and help promote a movie that my producer and I had worked on together, that I had done some production design for and was doing the promotional art for. And so he invited me to come with him to AFM. And there we spoke to some of the executive producers, and he pitched this project that he wanted he and I to do, him as producer, me as director. And it was about a 5-minute conversation. I didn't get to say a word. I didn't even know it was being pitched. And 5 minutes later, I had a film with a budget. Probably one of the happiest moments of my life at that point. I was going to get to do a film. The film was called Strange Blood. That was 2011 that we first started putting it together. I think we got the green light in late 2012, early 2012. And I spent most of 2012 writing it, having never written a full 90-page screenplay before. And by December of 2013, we were ready to shoot. We shot again in Tucson, Arizona on a 18-day schedule, if I remember correctly. I think it was 18 days. Limited actors, limited locations. And again, it's a fucking disaster. I was not ready. Was not ready to have written a script like that. I was not ready to direct a feature film. I was not ready. And because of budget constraints, we tried to make a bigger movie than we should have. And so the whole thing was a disaster. It was not a great time in my life. And if we're being honest, it pushed me to not want to do film again. But it was a good learning experience. And it took a while, I think, for the sting to go away, for me to really realize that while it may have not gone the way I would have liked, I did learn a lot. And if I was going to be super honest with myself, I should continue trying, right? And we all fail at some point, and to let that failure stop me is stupid. If you have a dream, you should follow it. Surprisingly, the movie did get completed, and though I was, if we're being real, fired during post-production. I'm not sure that was a great decision, but who knows. The movie came out in spring of 2015, I believe. I have to remember. Yeah, I think it was 2015 that it came out. I made a little bit of money because it has such a low budget. It did profit, and that got me a couple meetings with some other producers and companies. Nothing ever really came of it. I had one project that I got tapped to do that unfortunately fell apart prior to going into pre-production with it. So I kind of stalled out in development stage. After that was it. I stepped away again. You know, like I said, I was still a little hurt at how bad that first one had gone, and also realized I didn't know what I was doing yet. So I'm back to script writing. Started there and wrote a few screenplays that are all in various stages of rewrites, and at some point I've just walked away from them to start over. In the meantime, you know, I've had so much other things going on. I'm a photographer. I'm an artist. I just started my own company, and you know, doing music videos, still doing video productions for clients, but not a lot of narrative stuff. So here I am now in Cleveland, and I promised myself, hey, you're gonna spend some time in Cleveland, away from LA. Why not go make some short films? Use the resources you have, do something small, and try to learn how to be a good director, be a good narrative director. So that brings us here. We're 6 months in. I've started to finally conceptualize what I want to work on, And yeah, like it's time. It's time to just try the filmmaking thing again. So next time we'll talk more about the film itself. We'll talk a little bit more about how to make film. Let's maybe talk about some of the errors that I made before that I don't want to make again, and some of the ups and some of the downs. So I hope you'll join me, and I hope this first episode wasn't too painful. I promise you I will work on getting better at this, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.